All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, and welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going on in the market. As always, we're going to be talking about the claynosaurz airdrop. We're going to be talking about claynosaurz in general and how insanely bullish I am now. I don't know what changed, but we'll talk about that today. Full disclaimer, I did buy one today. I now have two. I am looking to buy more. Let's talk a little bit about the Lily legendaries that are coming. We did get our first one. Looks pretty clean. I like it. I think I'm very excited to see what's in store for us. Just love the Lily art. It looks very good. And I think after we get the legendaries, we'll start seeing, what's really going to unfold for Lily, for Lotus Gang, everything like that. We will also be talking about mint flops. We had two recently, Toys R Us and DGen News. We will, of course, be talking about those as well. And joining me, as always, for the show is Dorian. Dorian, how you doing today, my man?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Happy to be here. Every day's holiday. It's a lot of, we're in the middle of a bear market, but, things are still moving. So excited to talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely. There is still plenty to be talking about. And, as little as we have to talk about these days with just how bear market vibes we got, we still have plenty to talk about. It's been nice being able to focus more on quality projects versus trying to sift through the absolute dog water that was in the market back in the day. So joining us to talk about these projects is, of course, Joe Soul, back on holiday. How you doing, Joe?
We're doing well over on my side, man. Happy to be here. Happy to be back for sure.
Happy to have you back, dog.
Bro, we missed you.
Missed you guys,
Bison
man.
was struggling just hosting the show with me, man. That's hard times.
You guys are killing it, man. You guys, all these clips coming out and shorts, and you guys have been killing it, man. I've been watching.
Yeah, that's all Dor, bro. And Dor takes the video. I do all the podcast stuff. I uploaded the episode, and Dor's been crushing the edits on the shorts and whatnot. So it's been great.
Thanks, man. As much as I would love to take credit, I found a pretty clutch editor, so she handles the edits, and I just upload in titles. So she's doing most of the legwork.
That's right. Hey, teamwork makes the dream work. But no. For those that are just joining us, it is nice to see you. If you are newly subscribed to the channel, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch or listen to us. We are on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then we do stream every Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the episode being uploaded shortly after. Let's get into the market, guys. Still pumping right along at about 180K souls. So about net flat for the last time we talked. I mean, we've been getting some spikes every now and then. Volume seems to be holding pretty well. And, I'm curious to see with a lot of these new mints, we're starting to get enforceable royalties again. So it's going to be more of a solid metric. Now, I think, these bigger, more established, older collections going to be hard to retroactively enforce royalties. So we're going to be seeing it a lot more on these newer collections, but it'll be nice to know that when we see volume numbers, it's actually a little bit more accurate. So 180K, nothing out of the normal there, but exchange art. I want to talk about exchange art real quick because I'm looking at tiexo.com. For those that don't look at it, this is where we get most of our metric numbers from these days. And they have had 2.5K sold today and 22.8K sold over the past 7 days. Now, if you guys are new to the show, we usually use about 10K sold between them and Form Function as our barometer of how healthy the one-on-one space is. This is something we've been talking about. The one-on-one space seems to be consolidating and is getting massive sales in terms of soul between some of these bigger artists. So this is something I've been really trying to emphasize lately, and it's kind of playing out. The numbers don't lie, and we're starting to see some really good sales. Let's kick it over to you first, Dorian, and then Joe. How are you feeling about the market? Where are we at here?
Yeah, I just wanted to hit on your point about, before we start talking about the market, more about the one-of-one space. I think it's, once again, kind of similar to what we're seeing on the generative side about these rotation into higher tier projects with Sol, and we can even say ETH being down so bad is just like picking up these fine art pieces and these top tier projects. It's kind of a no-brainer, man. It's like Those are the two things that can hold its value in a bear market more than any of these other newer projects. There's too much opportunity cost picking them up. There's too much other risk involved picking them up. However, it's like these blue chips and these one-of-one artists, they're going to continue building. So it's better to spend a larger portion of your liquidity to pick up one or two pieces instead of trying to in my opinion, trying to quickly flip Sol in a market like this.
Yeah, that's a take. I can somewhat agree with that. I want to get Joe's take too as well. Joe, how are you feeling about the market? Where have you been at? I know you've had a little time off. Have you been active in the market? What have you been doing?
Oh yeah, so I've been trading pretty heavily, still, daily in and out when I can. And when I was away, I didn't as much. I was playing more just like intraday scalping on crypto wise, just because the volatility was there. I knew CPI was coming, so people was trying to bake in some things, and then but yeah, macro wise, I was just checking out the weekly on BTC and ETH, and they're not looking like they're looking pretty bullish on the weekly. They're gaining strength. RSI's coming back in. The momentum's clicking back up. Sol, on the other hand, we're kind of battling there in the sandbox. I do think there's a deviation if we get above 16 that we could have a real rally, but until then, we're kind of in the sandbox. Solana NFTs for me right now have been kind of a way to hedge, just because it seems like that we might still have some deviation down here, but as a hive mind, it seemed everybody was coming together and going, you know what, these are our top 50 projects. We're going to cycle our money into these. We're happy with cycling our money in and out of these, and we kind of see those top 50 projects come to the top here. Now, this might be a good time to offload into Sol, maybe stable over. And because, you're starting to see people post pictures of their Magic Eden accounts and their Sol balances. And whenever I'm starting to see that, I'm like, all right, Euphoria might be in for this little phase. But for all in all, I'm happy. I see builders building through it all. It's easy to kind of use your sand sift to find the good ones right now. So I'm not mad at this time, truly.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think your points actually kind of tie into where I was going with Dorian's thought, because I agree with Dorian right now. These blue chips, these higher price things, especially in these market conditions, feel like, the way safer play. Like, I know I'm going to at least get on some of these plays like a 20% return. And, that's about as good as you can get. You're beating out most stock markets annual returns in just like a couple of weeks on some of these plays. And you just have to look for the undervalued one. I think the only thing that makes me wary about going too deep into blue chips right now is that if we do rip up in Sol terms, will they continue to hold their Sol value if we rip up, 2x, 3x in Sol price? And, are people going to look to escape NFTs to get Sol exposure, like direct Sol exposure? Because we saw it on the downside when we went capitulation candle down, we saw a lot of people just like escape. And so when we see volatility, that's the only thing I worry about when it comes to being too exposed to NFTs. And so I've slowly started, taking a little bit of profit when I can.
No, Bison, that's a great point, man. And that was a big concern of mine. I think that concern is more valid when there's potential downside risk than upside risk. I say that because the price of Solana is so low. So even if the floor pulls back 50% on some of these larger collections and Sol hits a 3x, you're still up. You get what I'm saying? So like even while on the downside, it's a lot worse. I remember when Sol was around $38, I sold a tube for 97. That was around 4K. Tubes, after the FTX debacle happened, tubes hit a 2x and were around 187, 190, and that was still only worth 2K. So that upside volatility, even if the price of Sol pulls back on the floor, isn't as bad as like going the opposite way with the downside. Hopefully that all made sense.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, but see, that's you made your point beautifully, because you sold the tube in USD terms. Perfect. And I just think in USD terms, now I'm starting to, now that I think we've started seeing, hopefully, knock on woods, that we are at a local bottom, hopefully a Pico bottom. That would be fantastic. In Sol terms, I got to start thinking more in Sol. Like I'm thinking of preserving more Sol value, because I think Sol is a valuable asset. I think we bottom out here. So if you're looking in USD value, that's fine. But opportunity cost would be, you could have just held Sol and it gone up more compared to buying some of these blue chips. And I think that's kind of where I'm resting, and I think that's what I'm kind of wrestling with on jumping the gun. I sold my Ute. I actually want to buy a bunch of claynosaurz, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, Joe, I 100% agree with you. I would be I don't want to say very bullish, but like I will breathe a sigh of relief if we close, Bitcoin 17.5 above 17.5. I would be like, okay,
Yeah,
got a little bit of relief. That's nice. That's
validation
good.
for 18.5 in the order
Yeah.
books right now.
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
see an 18.5 run, and then ETH 1500 is in the bag too right now. And with
yeah.
Solana, it's so crazy with Solana though, because how the order books are set up right now, and I'm looking at it as we speak, like we get to that $14 to $15 range and we start consolidating there. I'm telling you, that deviation at $16, if you break that, we're running to 20s. Like 18 to 20 will be there. And it's going to liquidate and squeeze hard. And it's going to be a wild ride. And this is my question, like with the Solana NFT floor price and SOL, right? I truly think there's going to be a direct correlation with both of those rising until a pivot point. And what that pivot point will tell us is where we're at in the market. So if you understand, like, if people start to say, oh, all right, I'm dropping the floor price when SOL's 16, then we understand that euphoria is still there. We got a lot going down. But if people let that direct correlation build, floor price rising as Solana price rises to maybe the 20s, then you see the inverse start to kick in. Then we know we're in more of a healthy relationship due to market sentiment. So that's kind of my psyche on the moment too. That's what I'm watching as well. Just kind of get a brace of like, overall, when should I come back in the market hard with some stables, So that's kind of a thing I'm looking at as well. Just to touch on what we were talking earlier.
Yeah. There's a lot of key levels. I really like CPI numbers came out today. I expected them to beat them, or at least meet expectations, which would have been net flat. We beat it by 0.2%. If you guys don't know, consumer price index kind of measures how inflation's kind of performing in this market. We beat expectations. That's good. Market churns right along. We've seen a little bit of a rally across crypto, stocks, equities, all that good stuff, all the non-boring stuff. And for me personally, that also means we're probably going into a nice, healthier real estate market again. So that's good. Good across all assets. It's a nice way to end the year after a abysmal, like mid-year to mid Q4, right? So this is good. We like seeing it all. Let's talk NFTs. Let's talk some fun stuff. So I'm so bullish on claynosaurz now. I don't know what flipped on it. Like I was cautiously optimistic. Thought the SOL community will fumble the bag. So far they haven't. We got an airdrop. This airdrop has held its value very well. The only thing that concerns me about claynosaurz is that we have a 10K collection that has, according to Magic Eden, 3,700 unique holders. Not the end of the world. I don't know if you guys have seen some of my older videos and stuff, but I usually like seeing a 0.3% owners to collection size ratio. This is how, especially when it comes to brand IP community plays, where it is like the more diversity we have, the less concentrated the bags are. And so you can go on Hello Moon .io and start checking, how big some people's bags are. It seems pretty dispersed, but I would like to be closer to that 0.5 mark. Like 5,000 owners would be sick. This is the only thing giving me pause. But other than that, they have nailed it. Guys, they gave us an airdrop like a week after dropping. This thing is going to be used. There's going to be some game theory behind it. You're going to add armors. There's going to be leveling up with this stuff. There's going to be classes. Like there will be so much game theory behind this. And I'm so excited. There's apparently going to be another airdrop here soon. Like you're telling me I'm getting 5 SOL back to back, hopefully. Like that's incredible. Some people got the gold one and that thing's going for like 85 SOL, bro. Like that's insane. So they've held their floor really well since the airdrop. I'm bullish. Like this is the first time I've seen an airdrop done well, hold well. The floor price is done very well, and listings continue to go down, dude. What is going on? It's insane.
Yeah, claynosaurz has definitely surprised me in a great manner. Unlike, I was never like bearish on the team per se. I was always bearish on the community. But the way that the claynosaurz team has went about this was excellent. I think one of their main reasons of success was their pre-sale lists. They got some of the most notable people in the ecosystem to buy into their project and be willing to hold it even after mint. So having a lock period on their pre-sale, I think, was a great idea. Not only do they know how to work their sales within the ecosystem, mainly due to the cab animation being such an OG, and I think that leads heavily into him understanding Solana and how this market works. And then going on to the airdrop after that, and he understands, and the team understands how to I hate using weaponized anticipation as a negative thing, but it's definitely a positive thing that the ecosystem loves, and they're doing an amazing job at it, man. I won't be surprised if these things continue to run. You see, they have still captured the attention of the entire Solana ecosystem for a while now. But dude, I'm loving claynosaurz, man. Now, honestly, I'm feeling FOMO. I'm like, is it too late for me to pick up a couple of claynosaurz? I don't know, man. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this team continues to have coming.
Yeah, absolutely, Dor. I'm seriously, I look at these and they look great. I honestly love them so much, but I think what gets me excited is that I know they'll look better, even more so and more detailed when armor and stuff comes out for it. So I think there's a lot to look forward to, and they're doing a really good job of spacing out all the details, but keeping it soon enough that it's still top of mind for a lot of people. Joe, I want your opinion because we haven't talked to you since claynosaurz dropped. This is a go-to team. The more I read into the team and the more I start seeing like they're doxed. I saw cab animation. Do we call him cab animation or is it cab animation? I don't know what his
cab animation, dog. We've been calling it cab animation for a while now.
Well, if he wants to correct me on Twitter, he's more than welcome to. But yeah, I mean, he was walking around at events. They had a live panel and stuff in Art Basel. Joe, I want your take as a trader because I know you a lot, and I'm in a trader mindset right now. While we still have volume and stuff, what's your opinion on all of this?
Yeah, I echo your sentiment as well, Bison. The team's goated, and obviously, a lot of the time, what gets me a little nervous is with teams that have really stacked devs or guys that are great on the art side and things like that. Is like really the marketing and understanding our echo chamber to do well. Because regardless of like oh, I don't care if a bunch of Web3 weirdos even like me. Like I'm just doing it to get out there and get regardless, you have to do well in our echo chamber because you'll be flooded to the ground and broken down into so million pieces. So like this is step one for you. And for them to understand the hype cycle and how to build airdrop, this airdrop might have clay that goes into this airdrop, and like you don't need to say. And then like they understand how to deal with the fickle mindset that we keep here. So yeah, I'm bullish on that, their marketing standpoint, and I'm bullish on the team itself. And they're different, right? They're nothing like we've seen before on Sol and really ETH, I think, honestly. And I think there's an allure there, right? It's not tired for you to hold it. It's like, oh, something new. It's exciting. And it's not a staking mechanism or a merch product or anything of that nature. So I think it's a breath of fresh air for a lot of us that have been here for a while because we're like, oh, wow, this is really new, So yeah, I'm on board. I have full disclosure. I have 2 Claynos in my wallet. I do have some that are coming from my pre-sale, and I bought a couple level 1 clay makers as well because I do think there's a big game theory behind those. If they go with burning them, who knows what they could do with those? But I think there's game theory to be had there.
Well, another thing too, Joe, is we seen what happened with Sardinias, and also, yes, full disclosure, we have to make sure I'm disclosing things now after what was it, Thursday or Friday? I don't know.
Yeah, that debacle.
Full disclosure, I do own 2 claynosaurz. I do own 2 clay makers. I am looking to add to my bag. I don't know when I'm going to sell. Probably when they flip OK Bears. I'm hoping, because that's kind of like I think that's what really shifted my mindset. Is these are so much better than OK Bears. These are so much better, and you can't sit there and tell me that the only thing OK Bears has is a war chest. Like to me, that's it. Other than that, if you want to make like a comparison, they beat them in team. They beat them in art, in my opinion. I do like OK Bears art is clean. It's like a 4K version of Bored Ape Yacht Club, but in my opinion, and they do a really good job with colors. Other than that, what else do they have going for it? They airdropped a founder's coin that was supposed to be tied to a value of gold. Like, bro, you have so much money in the bank, and that's I'm done messing with OK Bears. This is RareFUD. claynosaurz it makes more sense to me.
Mhm.
And until they flip OK Bears, that's probably when I'm going to hold it to. And I'm trying to add more to my bag. I don't know what to look for though, and I think I want more details on like what classes and stuff are going to be before I like actually ape in, because I ideally want at least 2 more. I'm trying to go for 4 more though. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens there. Dor, do you have any claynosaurz before we move on?
No, I don't have any, but I do have. I'm thinking about picking up some, but I'm just like not too sure if this is the play for me right now. I didn't get in early enough. I'm like, everybody's already talking about it, and once again, not bearish on the team, just bearish on the ecosystem, where it's just like it's only going to take one announcement or one new shiny thing for liquidity to start rotating. And I don't want to get caught holding the bag. So I'm like, I'm thinking about going to look back at like secondary projects because I still have a sizable amount of liquid sitting on the sideline. So I'm like, maybe I can start looking at Critters Cult again because nobody's paying attention to them right now and they're down bad. So it's just like other things I want to start looking at before I get into claynosaurz.
I think that's important, Dora. You invest what you're comfortable with. Like Bison, I'm fully into Claynos. I'm announcements. I got the pings on. I know what's happening in that ecosystem, so I'm bullish sentiment relative to what I know and feel. Like you haven't had the time or that, right? So why would you invest in it if you don't really feel? But Critters Cult, you have, right? You've been in there. You've talked to people, so that's very important for anybody out there. Like if you hear someone talking, like, and you feeling FOMO, you want to go buy, like. Take a second and go, wait, does this even fit with my investor's thesis? Does this feel right to me? Are the community members like-minded like myself? Are they into the same things? So all that, those nuances are very important. So when Doris says like, oh, it's not like he's throwing shade on Clay. It's just that that's his, that's what's good for him at the moment and relative to where he's at in this space. Sorry about that. I just wanted to point that out.
No, I mean,
said, man.
It's well said. I mean, I encourage everybody to find their investment thesis, and we just bring it up. Don't let me hype you up. Seriously, don't let me hype you up, because I was very anti Claynos when I started seeing all the hype go around Twitter. But it's been sustained. I do think there's room going up. They've done a really good job rewarding holders, which is like the big thing. I was worried it's going to be Bubble Goose V2. And I'm not bearish on Bubble Goose. I just know it's going to take a long time, and I am in the mindset of I'm preserving liquidity so I can take advantage of opportunities, so I can stack Sol because I know where Sol's going.
I agree with you, Bison. And I just want to make it clear for the audience. It's like, we're not fading. Like, even when we were talking about claynosaurz, I don't want to say negative. It was just a lack of trust in the Solana community because we've seen this happen over and over and over again. So, and this was pre-mint. So there's no way that we could have analyzed that claynosaurz would have taken off. We just had to analyze based on historical trends that we've seen. And I'm glad that claynosaurz was able to buck that trend.
Yeah. And we'll see, they could fumble the bag at some point in the future. Just be sure to pay attention to it. Another thing that Vajra was actually mentioned in the chat that I think is worth noting is Knittables is coming out, which is kind of similar animated. It looks like yarn, not clay, or some sort of weaving fabric, right? But it also looks very good, and it looks in that similar vein. Now, I don't know if they have the same goated team that claynosaurz has, and I think that would be my one thing that really edges Claynos out compared to any competition that they might face. But it's something to keep an eye on. And if you want a cheaper artistic kind of project, Knittables is coming out. Like Dorian said, I think Critters Cult is definitely overlooked and still is some of the best pixel art that we have on Solana. And they're further in their, art map or whatever it was, their art roadmap. It's something to keep in mind. So make sure you're playing to your strengths. Find out whatever you can. I am going into Claynos. Full disclosure, I don't know if I have a price target yet. I'm also marked on Hyperspace. So if you ever want to know if I am listing my stuff, I am tagged. You will see Bison Trades on there. Full transparency. Not trying to dump on you guys. You guys usually front run us, actually. So, all right. Anything else before we move on to Lily? I do want to talk about Lily Legendaries because, dude, we have now had 2 projects that between claynosaurz, which has done 616,000 Solana volume, and then Lily, which has done 350. You're talking 1 million Solana volume between those two in what, a week and a half, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's That's awesome. I love them. And dude, this is the best time to be stacking Soul right now. But yeah, any closing arguments on claynosaurz before we move into Lily?
Nope.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys covered it amazingly.
All right. Lily, still holding pretty well, man. It had a nice little pump. I was able to grab 2 of them, I think, at 7 or so. I still had a bag of 3 that I got from having Lotus, and I've been flipping them and all that good stuff. Volume slowed down a little bit, but still holding. Like, dude, I think it's like a 10K Solana volume per day sort of range. We're at 5K now, but still good volume. They just released their first legendary, and it sounds like we're going to get planting about halfway through this process, right? I know Joe is also up to date on the Lily announcements. So Joe, I want to kick it over to you. When are we getting planting? What do you know about these upcoming legendaries? I think there's been one teaser based off of Bunjil's SoundCloud of all things on what the next one's going to look like. But I kind of want to get to you because I think you're actually more in the know about what's going on with Lotus and Lily.
Oh yeah, man, I'm definitely in the know. And full disclosure, guys, right? I'm a trader, so I've had a big bag of Lily and Lotus. So obviously, I've sold them because I bought them at 7, sold 4, and I've made my money. And now I have a nice, solid bag that I'm going for that I'm going to hold and let bloom and plant and do its thing, right? And I feel comfortable doing that because I've made my profits on it proudly. Anyway, let's go down here. So the legendaries, right? So yeah, so legendaries were looking awesome. I mean, we have the Bride, the Destroyer, the Summoner, the Timeless, the Master, the Warrior, the Petal, the Scientist, and the Hollowed. Blooming and planting are going to be separate. Both are advantageous to have lilies and lotuses for them, right? So they're both separate things. They're both coming relatively soon after legendaries are done, though, right? So there's still some time there, right? So I expect people that aren't winning legendaries might, oh man, I didn't win, and offload a 1-to-1 ratio out of their bag. That's cool to me. Why? Because I'm looking to re-enter again. Because I know once the blooming and planting happens, this UI and UX that Bunjil has ready to go. I don't know if you guys saw the roadmap A and went on the website and actually played with the roadmap and the disc that they made and the UI UX experience with the music that they have, their own produced music, like the Spotify, even the track that tells you the tale. Like, I'm going to tell you, my expectation, I think the next one's going to be the Petal, because it was very Wu-Tang inspired, right? It was very like samurai-esque and that type of beat. And so I really think it might be the Petal. So I don't know. It's just like for someone that really loves this space, I think it's really cool. Lilies make me feel good. I think he carries that color palette, that soothing color palette throughout his UI and UX. So yeah, blooming and planting, I think, will be a catalyst for them, because I think we'll find a nice bottom here once legendaries start to roll out, and we'll find the people that are really excited for this project, and more people will load on there, and it'll be a higher low and in the year sense, in a daily calendar sense, it'll be a higher low for both Lotus and Lily. So yeah, I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where they've just been holding a pretty good floor after minting. They've been well above mint, in this kind of market, been cranking on volume. Lotus has been doing well too. I think people are aware of the 1-to-1 and the benefits that come with it. And yeah, I think it looks good, man. I am very excited to see the rest of the. I imagine Bunjil starts out with probably the most underwhelming one. I think it looks good. I don't know if you guys saw it. What is it? Phoenix? Is that what it is, Joe? I don't remember the name of it, but it looks good. I know Bunjil's got something else cooked up as far as these legendaries go. So yeah, I think he's rolling it out pretty. He's got a good, decent pace of play as far as what he's trying to accomplish over there, and see what we can do.
And he also mentioned real quick, Bison, that, blooming and planting, those are both things you do, and you have time to make something more beautiful, right? Or more picturesque in your mind. So you can kind of read between the lines there. But he said he wanted to get this out as quick as possible because there's a roadmap B, there's a side B, right? He wanted to play it like back old school records, side A and B. So side B is supposed to be coming for the more long-term plan. This is actually a very micro plan for Bunjil, this side A. So everything on that list is supposed to be done like in a couple months span, pushed out very quickly to make people happy, to get infrastructure in play for that side B. So I truly think this is a good project, you can feel comfortable if it does come down another 20% going, oh, nice. And you see it sitting there for a few days. That's a good entry, right? That's an advantageous entry for a project that has many catalysts coming up, right? And of course, we've seen the blow off top, and the residual effect from that is back coming price discovery and free market value now. And I think that's only going to happen here even cleaner and more easily seen with these legendaries and these bloomings coming. So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
two.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more of a medium term kind of vision on this, where we're actually going to start to see the vision form for this. Because right now we're just rolling out legendaries, and it's good pace of play. I like it. Dor, do you hold any Lily or Lotus?
No, dude, I've really not been paying much attention to the market because I was solely focused on picking up my SMB, dog. now
Which
that
you
I've
did.
now
Which
that
you
I'm done
did.
with that, I'll start focusing on other things. But I've just been like, liquidate, stack liquidity for my SMB.
I mean, that's fair. It's a clean looking
GG's.
monkey.
And you got it
Thanks,
done,
man.
bro. That's setting plans and manifesting right there. That's
Thanks,
a
man.
valid success story, brother. That's awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was like coming into this space is like, because I came in post SMB mint and I just saw those things rip, man. But like the longer I'm in the space, the more especially if you want to grow your brand and grow the team that you work with, you need to network with other people. And like having a monkey is one of the best way to do that. I had to liquidate a couple things. I sold my 4x4 I sold my 4x4, my oil, and my Tayo to rotate into monkey. So all in
Those
profit.
are all profits, all solid profits you probably
Yep.
gained there and just flipped them right in. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a good rotation, and like you said, I mean, SMB is going to be. I do think it's going to be a timeless piece, in the generative side of Solana. So ain't nothing wrong with it. Question for you: do you still hold any 4x4 supply chain voxel monkeys?
Yes, I've hold one 4x4. I'm not planning on selling that at all. You have to because I picked up 3. I sold one at 40, one at 90, and I still have one more that I'm planning on mint iron paw with.
Beautiful. Yep. Okay. Good. Glad. I'm glad to hear it. Yo, Joe,
Thanks,
you weren't here when. I mean, you've seen 4x4 ripping, right?
Oh, dude, you know what's funny? Because I still use Magic Eden just to look at my profile, like just to look at what's NFTs are in my wallet. Like I don't know why it's just link. It's right on my browser on my phone. It's there. It's
Next time I
favorited.
see you, Joe,
I know,
I'm
bro.
gonna
Listen,
smack you across the face.
listen. I know, bro. I deserve it. And I totally forgot about it, bro. I'm pricing in my total value, my swing trades, and my profit and value. And I'm like, then I actually go to hyperspace. And I'm like, whoa, where's what's the? And I go down. I'm like, oh, these really took off because I still have 3 of them. And honestly, I'm just gonna I bought my ETH for the mint. I priced 0.5 ETH per IPG. So I grabbed like 2 ETH almost fully, and I'm sticking, dude. I really think, man, they might be my first ETH like bag, and I can start trading Ethereum NFTs. That's what I'm hoping, like a free entry. Like you invest 2 Ethereum for like you're all right. Now you get to play in the ETH field too. Like that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Doug, I think these are going to cook on ETH. All of us think they're going to cook on ETH, so you're good,
You know what I'm
dude.
saying? And then, like, since you have both the mech and the drive, and then you could just like, all right, I can sell a mech here, I can sell a driver here. This one's rare. I'll keep this one. I'll sell this mech, and like, hopefully I can game theory myself to get a nice fat bag of ETH and really go into the market, get myself some ETH NFTs I really want and been looking at since I started in this space. So.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited to get some more valid ETH exposure. I mean, all my bags went to absolute 0 over on ETH because I bought dog water, so I deserve it. But you learn hard lessons over in ETH. It's a weird market compared to Solana. Solana's just way easier to read, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude.
And ETH is just it's funny. But there's a lot more liquidity, so things go burr when they actually want to go up. I'm excited, but going back to the topic of mints, we've had 2 recently that kind of flopped after having all of these quality mints, in my opinion. We got 2 just kind of bums. One I think is actually a flop, and that's DGen News. And I look, that's not even a thing against DGen News, the account, because like dude is hustling. I think it's just one person running that account and like is always there. But I don't see the need for a mint. I know he wants to fundraise to start something bigger, so I want to hold my complete judgment on that. But it just like, bro, of all the times you want to mint right now, like you had
Yeah.
all this time. You've been around for a while. Why didn't you just get something? Literally, it's just a little floating token. Um, if you had minted back in OK Bears, like you probably could have got your money and then you could have been building this entire time. But yeah, that's one. And then two, the one that I think the verdict is out on for me. I'm not touching it. Don't plan on touching it. But if it gets low enough, I think FUD is always fun to deal with. And I like the team behind it is Toys R Us. Just because anybody's is behind it. Anybody, if it wasn't anybody's behind it, I would probably throw it in the trash. Would not even look at it, walk away. It's a bankrupt corporation. We already talked about this door, but Joe, I want to get your thoughts and then we'll go to Door. What do you think about these two flops? What went wrong? Do you think they're going to be viable in the future? Is there a certain price point that you'd be interested in possibly looking their way?
For Degen, good question, Bison. Thank you. And for Degen, yeah, for them, I truly think that like if your product is easily replicated, then it's very hard for you to keep market share. And for them to like want money to create like an aggregated, I just think like they're better off saying, all right, if we're this good, find a way to token gate their Twitter or token gate a Discord that pushes alerts, like use something that like Cyber Samurai's built, like DB alerts or something like that, where you're pushing it straight to their phone, or find a way to token gate yourself. And you can do that cheaply with a Fiverr. Like you can still do that cheaply and get yourself in the system. Like there's other ways to go about it. Asking for 250K off the pop isn't the way to do it when you're aggregating tweets, right, manually. So I just think that was like, I just think they went about it wrong for them. And now for Toys R Us, man, it's hard, right? I think they just came in, and Antibodies is a great team. And I think Toys R Us basically was like, here's our IP, do what you can with it. And just kind of like, didn't really like give them a lot of help. And Antibodies was kind of like grabbing at straws, like, listen, this is all on us. Like, trust us. Like, we don't really have a lot to work with, but we will bust our butts to do it. So it's like, you can bet on Antibodies, but you're not really betting on Toys R Us, right, when you're buying it. So it's kind of a different paradigm, I guess you would look at, right? Like, they have the IP, Toys R Us is rebuilding, and you understand that magnitude, but it's also about that Web 2 seamless coming in. If you are betting on Toys R Us, right, that's the pivot point. And if not, then you're betting on a Web 3 business that's done well to pump your bags. So like that's basically the play there with that. So that's my 2 cents on the boat.
I would agree with those points. Those are good takes. Dorian, what's your thoughts on both of these projects? I know you've been laser focused on that SMB, bro, but you had to have like even just like peered their way or something.
Yes, I peered their way. DJ News, it's just one guy on my timeline. I apologize that I forgot your name, dude. He's like out there hustling for DJ News, always tagging him in things. So like with DJ News, is like I don't see why they needed a mint, because for me, I never looked at them as like a good source of information. I looked at them as a meme account in the sense of they go into every space and intentionally take people out of context, which I find funny. But it's like I didn't look at DJ News as like, oh man, they're up to date on all the good information. No, they intentionally like tag people and took it out of context for like engagement. So I always thought they were funny. So I would never purchase their stuff. No offense to you guys, but it's just like I don't see why you need it unless you wanted to like become a more serious thing. But then it's like, why would I go to you than these other established people? On the Toys R Us end, I pretty much agree with all of Joe's sentiment on that. On the Toys R Us side, Joe Bison, you hit it home. It's like you're a bankrupt company. It's like you're just trying to gain some extra liquidity here in Web3 real quick so you can do whatever. So it's like I feel bad for the Anybody's team, especially seeing that they put their name behind it. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Like we're at that point in the mint cycle where it's like things aren't minting out again. We talked about this a couple weeks or months ago where we saw like, I think Lily kind of kicked it off, or maybe it was Utes, and we start seeing things mint out again. It's like, eventually this will is going to stop and something's not going to mint out. And it seems like that's happening again.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, really until pilots, I don't know of anything that comes off the top of my head. I'm not sure what the status is on Nomads. I know they postponed, but like I don't bet against TH. TH is a great Boogle over there, and I think he knows what he's doing, and postponing was a very smart move. But I think you're right, Dor. I mean, it's just I think we need a little bit of time to digest the people that are still around, and still participating in the market. I think they just need a little bit of time to digest what's been given to them. And I did see a thread from one of the guys from the Anybody's team saying like, hey, this is what we were given with the Toys R Us team. They couldn't change the color. They had to make sure it was still in the same vein as like the old 90s, 80s, like Toys R Us logo of Jeffrey, which you're not giving many artistic flexibility. Like that's not what hits here. And I think that's where it just absolutely flopped on release, is that it's these Web 2 companies coming in thinking they're like, bro, you are bankrupt. Web 2, you are not Web 3 native. These guys are successful. Anybody's has done pretty well, I'd say, in recent memory, and they're good at what they do. They know the Web 3 space. You can't just come in here, make an account like a month and a half ago, maybe make a couple tweets, and think you're just going to min out and get what 70,000 soul. So no, that's not how this works. And I hope this is a learning point for a lot of different brands, and like we start to see more of like Anybody's become a consulting firm for a lot of people to actually navigate this space. So I don't know. We'll see. I am bullish on the Anybody's team. So if this does get low enough, I would be interested, solely because I believe in them, not Toys R Us. Toys R Us, no, you can toss it out the window. I don't care about Toys R Us. So, yeah, I think that about does it for new mints, guys. Let's wrap it up with 5 minutes of Alpha Corner. Let's talk about what you guys are looking at. I want to kick it over to Dorian first, then Joe, and I will wrap us up.
Yeah, as far as I'm looking at, I mean, I shield Cyber Samurai enough, so that's going to be the main thing that I would ever talk about. But other than that, like I said, just been preoccupied, finally picking up my SMB. Now that I got that, I'm looking for lower cap projects, such as like I said, with Critters Called, and trying to just get my feet back in the market. Even Lotus Gang right now sitting at 8 soul. That's kind of like a steal for me. So I'm trying to pick up like 5 to 10 of a project that I think can 2x here in the near future or the next couple weeks or months. But I don't know right now. So I'm just going to get my feet wet again and really do some digging out there and see what I think can pump soon.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would wholeheartedly agree with that, and that is okay. I think you can definitely rest and recuperate. You got your monkey. Go get that sweet alpha from Monkey DAO and let us know what that looks like. Maybe one day. I know Joe was looking to join. At some point, I will too. I just, I want to trade into it comfortably and still have plenty left over. I don't want to feel like I have to liquidate a bunch of my holdings, but monkeys are just they're going to be timeless.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, no, man. It's just like I told you, it's like you don't think like liquidating things is that difficult, but man, you start getting the higher tier stuff where it's like 150 soul and like 90 soul. It's like those things don't sell overnight. It's like you have to have it listed for several days, then people undercut you, so you got to wait longer. So it's like for 2 weeks, I'm just like buy my bags.
Right.
But a good play though, I think is potentially Scrap. That's some alpha for you. With the pilot mint coming up, Scrap's still going to be in the mint. And yeah, I think it'll pump closer to mint time. So like even during my last tile unlock, I held my Scrap just because I plan on selling into the pilot mint.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid and fair take. I'm trying to see what Scrap price is at the time of recording, guys. Scrap is 0.41 cents or 41 cents. So, keep that in mind. This has actually been a pretty solid level for us for a while. Anywhere from that 0.3 to 0.4 range. So, keep an eye out for it. It did have a flash crash on unlock recently and then pump back up. So, you play those epochs, talk to a Tayo. They'll let you know exactly what days those unlock. Joe, want to talk to you, my man. I have not talked to you a little bit for your plays and your alpha. I want to know what you're trading right now, what you're looking at, anything catching your eye.
Yeah, man. What Dorian said was awesome, though. Yeah, it's not easy liquidating, man. It really isn't. It's not easy, and it's a mental game you play with yourself to watch things get undercut, and then So GGs. I'm glad you got it done, brother.
Thanks, fam.
Yeah. So me, my personal self, I do think that first and foremost, I'm biased, but DGODs and Utes, I think we're going to find a healthy bottom here, probably around 325 to 330 for DGODs, probably 120 for Utes. I'm on Frank's personal Twitter. I don't know if you guys got into it or not, but he's basically going to bring the rewards on chain. Rewards to the forefront, right? So right now it's tucked behind. It's set for Christmas Day. He told me the UI is going to be spectacular. They're going to bring it to the forefront. I think that reward dropping and people, it's big, right? If it's a really cool reward system and you can get in there and really cool things and like it's a new experience, it could do explosiveness. Or you have the vice versa, right? So that's one play I'm looking for to take profits on, right? I need to get some of my Utes off the table because I have a lot. So I'm hoping that goes well, right? And I'll always keep a bag. Other than that, man, I see Cody's in the chat. So I do have a couple bet3s. I tweeted about it around like a SOL and a half, 1.7, I think. That hit already, I think went up to 2.1 right off my bat. But yeah, he has, SOL dropping 2 times a month. That's really dope coming up as well. OVO Owls, man. I think people are sleeping on Elixir, really sleeping hard on Elixir, man. You just got to understand that they're builders, man, and they're not just set to Solana, right? So you got to realize that they got cross-chain devs on that bad boy that are working on both Rust and whatever the hell they build with on ETH. I don't know, Move. What is it called? Unity.
Or Solidity. Wait, is it Solidity or Unity? I always get them mixed up over on ETH. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be something like that. But yeah, man, other than that, just Lily, Lotus, like little plays like that. Netrunner for the tax play. There's just little plays like that. Nothing big at the moment. Trying to get SMB as well, honestly, right now.
Yeah, Netrunner's such a play. I think a lot of people are going to be underestimating Netrunner.
Do you guys have one?
Yeah, I got one. When you called it out, I was like, look,
yeah, man.
Do you know how much?
Have you used the tax beta?
No, I just saw the announcement that it was.
Dude, it's open. Go check it out. I'll tell you right now what you owe or what you don't owe. It'll tell you.
Get out of here, dog. I need to head on over there.
Yeah,
I probably owe nothing because your boy's down bad.
Yeah, I was about to say how much the government owes me, bro. Like
exactly. Which is nice because it does token transfers too. So if you bought SOL and then like swapped it back to you, like it kept it in there, like what the price. So if you lost money on SOL swapping as well, that'll like, dude, I don't even want to tell you guys how much I had. And so I'm like, wait, how much did I lose? How did I lose this much? And I went back and it showed me exactly. I was like, oh, from all my SOL swapping from 80 down to 30. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's just it's cool to see.
Dude, right now, I think this bear market has provided the best opportunity for tax harvesting. It's like at no other point could you have increased in SOL value, but lost in dollar value, dude. That's like the perfect tax harvesting scheme right there, dude. It's amazing.
I'll tell you one right now. I bought my Tayo. I was down like $3,000 though, but up 70 SOL, like 40 to 70 SOL. So I sold it. What did I do? I bought back into Tayo. Like right back into it, right? It's like the same cost base. I just get to literally my full 3,500. You get to deduct from it. I got it right there. Cool. Thank you. And I still got my Tayo. So like, guys, that's still cool here, right? We don't have anything telling us not to do that yet.
They don't even know what 2 wallets means. Like, exactly. No tax regulator knows what that means. So,
this is not financial advice either, guys. This is literally us like speculating the matrix. Per se.
That's current tax code right now. You can do that. I found that out. So like you can tax loss harvest. That is okay, guys. But everything else is not financial advice in this podcast. Please don't listen to us. We're the 3 bozos trading JPEGs.
That's true.
We happen to be good at it.
All right. I really like the Netrunners call. I got in at 2.1, so they're at 5 now. I do think dude. How much do you pay? Like, how much does the average American pay for TurboTax? You know what I mean? Like, this is something that's recurring. You know what I mean? And you have a portfolio tracker. And for me, it's one of those things. You just buy one. I don't need more than that. I really should have bought 2 because that was
But you don't need more than it's just one of those things, like a tool. It's a utility tool. I just stuck it in my wallet and I'm good to go. Like
exactly.
But the Cyber Syndicate, they'll drop in the trading profile probably. Soon, and that will be a whole immersive experience for trading. So like listing, selling, buy, everything in one infrastructure, and that all comes with one easy pay of a Cyber Syndicate, which is like under 1 SOL. So once they put this out for paid, and that's will be the revenue stream, will be literally this will be a paid service. But I think the beta itself will show once it's done proved, enough to where this is sitting at a 25 sold floor, like once it's all said and done. But we'll see after this tax season. We'll see if they get it done.
Yeah, I love anything that makes my life simpler and tells me if like does the tax loss harvesting for me, so I don't have to go back through and literally manually enter in all of my trades or hand it to my accountant or whatever. Like anything that makes my life easier, bullish on. So, I would agree with that play. What are things I've looked at? I will give Liberty Square has been doing some numbers lately. I don't really know if I would want to buy it right now. I'm just giving you guys a heads up that it has run. So anybody who did buy, congratulations. I think we said something around like 8 sold or something like that. It looked like it was forming a bottom.
It ran to 17 from that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Wait, when did it run to 17?
Yeah, it touched 17 and came back down to 13. Yeah, it touched 17.
Wow.
I missed that. Well, GG's. I should have listed mine for 16 and got a nice 2x. That's okay. That's okay. So Liberty Square, hopefully finds a bottom here soon. Dude, the Liberty Square team is it's cracked. You look at the teams that are just building during a bear. Not hard right now. I'm still trading Lily, although I'm still waiting for just that. I think it's going to be a while till we actually see that like nice juicy move up. So I don't think you have to rush into Lily right now. All of my eyes are on claynosaurz. This clay maker went burr. Like it keeps going back and forth. You can make 20% scalps on it within like an hour sometimes. So, that's trading pretty well considering the market we're in. Claynosaurz, dude, it gives me vibes that it just wants to run to 60 plus. Sorry, I should not call price targets anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. It just gives me vibes and it wants to run. And I do hold 2 of these. I do have 2 clay makers. I'm not trying to dump on you bozos, but what else am I looking at? I already called camps. Everything else, dude, I'm just trying to stack soul right now because if we did find a bottom, and we do shoot up, I think we will see some people trying to like skirt out of their blue chips and stuff like that in order to get into soul and get soul exposure because we know way too many people are overexposed to JPEG. So for me, it is right now while I still am in profit, I can take those profits and wait for floors to start slowing down. Utes has pulled back a little bit. I did sell mine at 150. I am hopefully look, I've been trading Utes like it's nobody's business. Hopefully it goes back down to 110. I hope so. Just in time for Christmas, and I'll pick it back up then. So we'll figure out what goes there. But yeah, I will continue trading where I have an edge. And for me right now, it feels like claynosaurz. Utes has the volume, which I'm a volume trader. I love the volume. And I love the ovals call right there. Joe, Manny was in my DMs like, why aren't we buying these right now? I'm just gonna ape all of them, and I only bought one. This dude bought like 5 of them and then went up to 15, 16. So good for Manny. Buy a Cyber
Manny's
Samurai.
a beast.
Buy a Cyber Samurai. That's my alpha. What did I say today? Eat sush. It's every active trader should own 1 samurai, homie. So just buy a Sam. Come join us. That's where all our alpha is. And I think that does it for today's show. Guys, any closing remarks? Anything we need to be aware of before we sign off here?
No, appreciate everybody coming out and watching us today. Cody, appreciate you coming in if you're still around. So thanks for swinging by. Joe, happy you're back on the show regularly, dog. We missed you. And Bison, thank you for co-hosting, dog. You're amazing at what you do.
Facts, bro. Thank you, brother. I appreciate those kind of words. I miss you guys wholeheartedly. And yeah, man, big ups to everybody that came out today. Much love. And I'm excited to be back here. And yeah, man, let's keep tracking the market. Excited to come back Thursday and back test some of the stuff we talked about today.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of RareFUD Radio. friendly reminder, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down on YouTube. If you guys are listening on podcast, make sure to check out our streams. If you guys are watching the streams and you miss an episode, we're on podcasts. It makes it very convenient for those that have a commute to work or like working out and listening to podcasts like a psychopath and not music, but whatever. I'm not judging you. Please listen to our podcast. And yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. And we'll see you on the next episode